Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of the Hazmat Guys. I'm here, as always, with Mike. And
Hey guys.
we are joined by two good friends, Mark and Supa, who you've heard before.
How you doing?
Yes, you do look very familiar. You've been on this show before. I was sitting there looking at your face going, even though I can't recognize faces, I know this guy looks familiar. How the hell are you guys?
Sup,
If you came to the Southernmost Hazmat Conference, you did meet Mark as well. So, hi, Mark. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Hello from Ireland.
Hello from Ireland. Yeah, it's Irish o'clock over there, and welcome to the show. We have a show. This is the question that came to us a ton, and we said this is the time to bring these two guys on to talk about, the state of the union kind of thing for what accreditation is and stuff like that. So why don't we already know who Supa is. Why don't you tell Mark, tell us who you are.
Okay. My name is Mark, and I am the CEO of JOIFF. So rather than talk about me, I'd much prefer to talk about JOIFF because my story is way boring. JOIFF are the International Organization for Industrial Emergency Services and a not-for-profit. And the purpose of JOIFF, it's basically runs like a community. It brings together like-minded people in the high-hazard industry from oil and gas, aviation, hazmat, obviously, we're here today, and energy sectors as well. And it's all about having conversations, sharing learning, or sharing shared learning, as we call it. So people's experiences, learning knowledge from incidents or whatever it might be can be shared with other people in the world, in our community, and so ultimately somebody goes home from an incident. It's a global presence. We have regions over everywhere in the world, and our friend here, I don't know, is this the opportunity to call him Super or Sup? I don't know. I get in trouble again. He is our North American ambassador, and he's responsible for helping to spread the good word of JOIFF.
I like it.
So
yeah, great resume builder.
Rob, how did you fall into the ambassadorship?
Very blessed. It was lucky enough that I got to go out and present in Dublin, or actually in Cork. Sorry, Mark. It's like a Boston, New York rivalry. It's actually pretty awesome. And met a few of their directors, made a good impression. Mark, spoke very highly of me and a few other people who you have met. And, this is going to tie into something I think we're going to talk about in just a few minutes. But they offered me it because I believe in what they're doing. And when we talk about like kind of where JOIFF came from, I will definitely tie that in together. But it's based in, Southeast Pacific Asia, Europe, Africa, Latin America, and we're looking to build here in obviously the States and North America.
All right. Well, you asked the question sort of, so I guess I'll support that question. Where did JOIFF come from?
Aha. Okay, so JOIFF is going over 30 years, and it came from a very, very simple concept. There was experiences happening, say, for example, in North America, and learnings and people doing things a certain way, and then in Europe, things being done a different way, and in the Far East and beyond, sometimes things weren't being done at all, and no information was being shared. So there was no mechanism out there to provide an easy way for people to share learning, to share knowledge. So that's one of the reasons. Also, there was a lot of focus in training around qualifications, and this is first-hand experience for our founder. It was very centric to qualifications, but there wasn't very much focus on competence, which is where the strong belief, where all the training and JOIFF accreditation standard comes from. So there was an opening in the market to create a vehicle where people could come together and they could talk about doing things better and sharing experiences, so we can all get better at things. And competence-based training was brought out of JOIFF as well, and we now have a global list of accredited training providers who work together. We all collaborate together to help improve the minimum standard of good practice in industrial high hazard fire.
When you say sharing, like you talk about like networking, like a series of conferences or just like an open notebook where you can like just share your ideas and that kind of stuff?
We call it the JOIFF community. We have a members area in our website where people can go in and they can share information, get access to information. And we have regular events. Unfortunately, due to a couple of challenges with the way the world has been, they haven't been as regular as we'd like. But we're looking to deliver regional events every quarter, and that's going to recommence towards the latter part of the summer. And we're also doing international events, which gives people the opportunity regionally to discuss and address the concerns with their peers in the region. But it also gives them the opportunity to get exposure to people further and farther afield by having the regional events. We also have a magazine called the Catalyst magazine, which has a very large readership, which has articles from JOIFF members, and it's a good place for white papers. It also provides the opportunity for our commercial organizations that are members of JOIFF to advertise their product services within the community and beyond as well. So it's kind of like, yeah, we all come together, we all talk. As an example of how it really works is we have working groups who are made up of subject matter experts within a particular silo within the high hazard industry. So for example, aviation being one. So those people came together, had conversations about what are the prevalent considerations, concerns, things that they'd like to discuss, see if they can come up with better ways of doing it. And that ended up with a new guideline in aviation firefighting being produced, which is available for the JOIFF community for free. And it's been written by members of the community. And we do this for,
Wow.
yeah, it works really well. Like we've recently done one on electric vehicle fires. We're putting other working groups together around alternative fuels, energy sectors. And it's a way, I mean, the community is what we're here for. And it is who we're trying to deliver the content for. And if the community creates and contributes to the content, it's for them. So, you know, it works really well.
So when you
that
have
was
that
was the CEO answer. So now I'm going to give my answer as
okay, good, because I had a couple
as the
follow-ups.
bootstraps guy, because
but
we
I bet
know
you-
we need the
yeah.
bootstraps answer
Yeah.
here, right? So the coolest part about this and where it came from, and this is where Mark is very coy, and it actually took one of our first calls for me to discover this, is his father was one of the founding pieces of this whole thing. And what Mark is also not alluding to is he was never in the fire service. He came on to make sure that this vision of his father and one of his really good friends kept going. And he has really helped grow it. So it came from his dad, Alec, who, when you get to hear him speak, it is like a lullaby. When he talks, maybe not a children's
Maybe
lullaby
Tim
because,
Burton kind
it's
of
a little bit
lullaby.
of Dublin in it. But the passion that comes across from both of them and the entire team, it came from keeping everybody safer, both in the industry, in fire brigades and municipalities around Europe, especially in Ireland and England. And that has just grown legs. So it started at this very grassroots movement, almost like you guys, where it was like, hey, we see a need that needs to be fulfilled. And again, when you hear the passion coming out of it, it's special. And that was what made me want to be a part of this, almost immediately. And then when the opportunities came up, I jumped at it when the offer came to be an ambassador to this, because it was something that I truly believe in.
So you guys do fire brigades, which in the States we call them fire departments or fire districts. I'm a chief sitting listening to this, and if what could JOIFF bring to me and my department if I was interested in joining?
Okay, there's a couple things. We have, as we call them, municipal brigades who are JOIFF members. JOIFF is in the industrial sector, so we tend to lean towards brigades or departments who have industrial concerns within their region. Nowadays, I mean, almost every single one of them does. So effectively, if you're sitting there wondering what's in it for me, if you become part of our community, first and foremost, you get to network with people in other fire departments from all over the world, which is always nice. Secondly, you get access to JOIFF guidelines, which are in there for you, so you and your team can learn, be safer. You also get access to industry experts who both whether it's fire truck manufacturing or clothing or whatever it might be from a commercial perspective, you have access to some of the best quality products in the world. And because these guys are focused on standards, we have people who design simulations. We've organizations involved in technology. If you're looking for, I'd like to see how the Europeans do something or how they do something in the Middle East, we have training providers all over the world who can help you, and they have a reputable reputation. Can you say that? Because I mean, we know them. They're part of the JOIFF accreditation program. If you want aviation, if you want oil and gas, if you want pharma, there's a lot of hazmat out there, which is great. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot there. There's learning, there's networking, there's education. But the best thing about it is, I mean, it's not a lot to become involved. And we do offer municipal brigades, fire departments, discounts. We offer not-for-profits who want to get involved where relevant. They get complimentary access. We're not in this for the money. We need the money to stay alive, but we're not in this for that. So we want, and that's one of the core reasons also why JOIFF was set up, because there are parts of the world where people don't have access to information, they can't afford it. There's parts of the world where 10 people are cheaper than one fire tunic. So, let 10 people go through the incident and we saved some money. That's not what JOIFF is about. JOIFF is about trying to bring information to people who can't get it, who can't afford it. And yeah, we need to keep the lights on and all that, but we want to be as out there as we can, helping the first responders. So that's a long answer, and I probably didn't answer it directly either. So sorry about that.
No, that's good.
No, Mike, when you were talking about what is a fire chief, what's the view of this? So first of all, a fire tunic is turnout gear for us in the States, because that took me a little while to catch on. It goes back to exactly what Mark was saying. It is truly a budget-friendly way to get information that you might not always have access to. And for those of us in the States, this is where we'll kind of dive into the accreditation in a few minutes, I'm sure. But you have Pro Board, and you have these entities that it's a great option on the other side of Pro Board. And it's not necessarily this or Pro Board. It's in addition, or it's just another venture out there that's giving accreditation to it. And I think I've talked about this before. I'm a medic going through National Registry, and we always have those great videos of, a test that just wants to prove you wrong, or you're teaching for a test and you're like, pay attention to this exact slide. When it comes to JOIFF trainings and learnings, it's about the competency and making sure the guys and gals on the front line can actually perform these duties. It's that competence factor, not just can you check a box in a book. And that's where it's going to keep your people safer and in a very budget-friendly way, and accreditation, so you have that piece of paper in addition to everything else that a lot of people are looking for, right? It's almost like the diploma of the fire service hazmat industry. Hey, we need this piece of paper to say XYZ.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
I love the support. Like, that's something that's lacking out there. The collaboration, the support, the networking. We were talking before we even started about conferences and stuff like that. It's how important it is. And so you've kind of danced around it a little bit. JOIFF accreditation. What does that mean? Like, is it me getting accredited? Is the guy getting accredited? Who is that?
Okay. JOIFF has an accreditation standard, and we have JOIFF accredited training providers from all over the world who are accredited to deliver JOIFF accredited training. That's a lot of use of the word accredited, but anyway, I hope it's stuck now. Those training providers are made up of commercial organizations, operators, as in, for example, we have oil and gas organizations who train their own teams, and they like to do JOIFF accredited training. So how it works is the establishment becomes accredited. And it's all about a minimum standard of good practice, and it is all about supportive, and it's all about learning and teaching and collaborating. So an organization will come to us as a JOIFF member, which is a criteria necessary. And they'll say we'd like to become accredited. So we give them a form which we've made very, very simple because we want to be inclusive, not exclusive. We keep the form as simple as possible. And some people on this have already filled out this form so they can confirm whether it actually is. We then put practical sense on it, and we're building a partnership, a relationship. You're not serving a higher authority by becoming an accredited training provider with JOIFF. You're building a partnership, a long-term relationship. We are here to provide you with access to learning, to support, to experience, and the other training providers where there's no conflict of interest want to meet new training providers because, hey, they've got stuff they do well, they can share it, and if that helps you get better and you share something with them, ultimately people are going home safe from incidents. So that's how it works. Again, it kind of leans on the community aspect. Once the establishment is accredited and a training provider can have either a classroom-based only environment or in some cases some online, but in the main it is practical training ground, that this is certainly where it came from. And then they will submit their training courses, and depending on the location, if it's their training ground, if it's a customer site, whatever it might be, if the training is practical, if it's based on competence, it's reviewed by people on our accreditation panel who have years of experience of, I won't even go into the depths of knowledge they have, but I think we need to provide that level of scrutiny to the people who are applying to us because, who are we to tell you how to do something if we aren't actually, I'm not, but they are, they're the guys who know what they're doing, and we don't dictate, we encourage, we guide, we provide mentorship. Have I answered that? I don't know. Did I go off the rails again?
It's unique in the way of doing it because a lot of places just like, I don't want to say a lot of places, but they just pay me and I'll give you the stamp.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I have a preliminary certificate in fire engineering from the IFE that I did in the 90s. I mean, I'm now giving away, although looking at me gives away my age, I suppose. Anyway, I'm not competent. Don't call me if there's a fire. I mean, that's what we're about. All of our certificates, some of which are behind me, they have validity because say you're out in the field today and you do training and you're competent, and in 5-10 years time, can you still do those things? Some people can. Some people aren't in the field all the time, and particularly in private industry and industrial industry, and please God there aren't incidents, but where there are places where people aren't out there fighting fires every day, are they keeping their competence? So we do things like refresher courses, and we encourage a process and a model. But again, it's a ask any one of our training providers anywhere in the world. We try and make this friendly. It's a partnership. It's inclusive. It's collaborative, and it's supportive. And we're not here. Again, I will reemphasize this, and this isn't anything other than the way we do it. We're not here to make a load of money out of things. We've got to keep the ability to send the SMEs to the sites to provide the advice, and everyone loves paying airlines and things like that. But and we don't. It's not a drain for you to throw your money down. Basically, it's an investment, and we help you get better at what you do. And it works, and it's really going very well. It's growing very rapidly, and we're making sure that as we grow, we are building and improving constantly in the way we do our processes and continuous improvement on things. As you guys are about to get emails, because we had to do a lot with a small team. The team's gotten a bit stronger, so we can enforce deadlines a little better, things like that. So yes, Mike, you have mail incoming.
Yeah, what was interesting? So it's no secret that we're going through the accreditation process. We joined JOIFF and we're becoming accredited. One of the things that struck me as interesting during the accreditation process was how much you guys took a look at our processes to make sure that we were in a sense covering our own ass. Right, like there was moments during the accreditation process where you guys were like, you guys are missing something, and you're opening yourselves up to liability. Like not only is it a hey, we're focused on the students and the learning, but we also want to make sure that the people providing it are covered as best as possible, and it really opened up some interesting things that were missing on our end that we turned around and we put band-aids on initially, and then we set up systems to address. So I can definitely see the benefit of a second organization kind of taking a look over the shoulder, being like, yeah man, okay, you're good with that.
Yeah, it's good that you brought that up because one of our auditors that does audits, he always says if it's not written down, it doesn't exist, and I repeat this on every single audit. And again, I mean, we live in a world, unfortunately, where there are opportunists out there, and it's all about accountability. And if someone sees a crack somewhere, they try and fit through it. So it's simple things like keeping a record of what you're doing. There was an incident a long time ago, where a training provider was doing confined space. It was hot. They were using their heat monitors. Everything was fine. Everything was within the normal parameters, but they weren't recording the actual temperatures for each individual training exercise. Unfortunately, one of the people who was at the training didn't feel great. Long story short, blamed them, sued them, won the case because they didn't have a document saying at this time this temperature was recorded and everything was fine. The only incident, it was a chancer, as we say over here. And yeah, it is. Like the first part of JOIFF accreditation is the establishment, and it is to help the establishment, I don't want to say get better because, I mean, training providers and organizations, you know what you're doing, and we're very happy to be working. And yes, you've raised your hand.
Yeah, well, I was going to touch on this, and, I think it was you guys just talked about at this time, right? It's one of our favorite lines in the fire service. At this time, well, yeah, of course, it's at this time. Or it might have been Jake. I just heard it like recently.
Jake on his.
So, the accreditation is great because you have truly a technical expert. You usually have two, sometimes three, and then you have that like litigation style expert too, and that balance. And the technical expert or experts are actually like still doing the job, still going through those things. So you're maintaining that level of competency that is growing in real time at this time in real time. And we did, we went through it as well. Servitas did. And there were some holes that we found. And at the end of the day, it's not to, oh, this is our precious. This is, hey, learn and grow with us. And then share this information, and it goes back to the community. It goes back to what you guys are building. And I said this the other day online. You're almost like the Apple Enterprises in my vision. The vision you guys have is the Steve Jobs, and it's exactly the cultural shift that we need. Both I think Hazmat's already doing it, but you guys are bringing it to the fire service. I think JOIFF does it across the pond. And that's why this was such a great connection to be made, where it is, we don't have to hoard this information. We don't have to silo it. Oh. We can share it. Everybody can grow. There's more than enough room for all of us to be a part of this. And we're trying to raise it. We're trying to raise the bar to make everybody better. Go ahead, CEO.
I have to say, just before you throw another question that makes my second brain cell explode, leaving me with just the one. I had the pleasure of going to the Southernmost Hazmat Conference and meeting you guys in person. It was great. Met a lot of really great, interesting people who I hope will finally become part of our community. I know some of them are looking at it right now. The synergies, the comparisons, like it's your Hazmat community over there, the JOIFF community everywhere else. It's the same thing. It's, we just, you guys want the same thing. You all want to share the information. And I know, I mean, I won't say I'm new to this industry, but I mean, in the presence of you guys, I'm new to the industry, and I will be for the next 20 years. But I know that people can't say or do certain things, and there's constraints and restraints, and as a result, people don't get as protected or as safe as they can be. We're not here to break any rules or offend anyone, but we are here to do what we can within the parameters of what the world permits without someone trying to sue us or whatever it might be. So we want to give as much information to the operators as possible so that the right gear. We don't recommend particular products. Our JOIFF members, there's lots of them. We've lots of foam manufacturers. It's a great selection of expertise, different opinions, different angles. Just come in, have a look, see what you think. And you can come in for a year and then leave again if you must. But one key thing, and this I learned early on in my learning what JOIFF is myself. I was speaking to one of our training providers, and they hadn't done anything for a few years, and they hadn't really interacted in the community, and they hadn't really pushed what they were doing. And he was like, I'm not getting anything out of JOIFF. And we had a chat, and he went, all right, I'll sleep on our conversation, but I think I'm done. A couple of days later, he gave me a text, can you talk? We had a chat, and he said, listen, I found out that I've done nothing with JOIFF. So I've gotten nothing from it. So I'm going to start putting stuff in and see what happens. he's getting traction. He's a training provider. He's selling Joyf accredited training. It's starting to get momentum. He's putting articles in. He's constantly on social media talking about stuff. Not going to tell you who this guy is, but he's one of many valuable and brilliant Joyf members that we have. The more you put in, the more you get out. I mean, if you just join the what can I get? Go ahead, go meet people, go talk to people. I mean, maybe not this guy, but talk to everyone. And we're like the family, you know, a global international family, and it's fun, and we get the job done. So yeah.
Listen, we got like a minute or two left, and I'd like to ask each one of you, in short, you know, I'll start with Super. What makes Joyf different, and why should somebody get involved?
Great question. Yeah. What makes it different is the way I got brought into this family, this community, was something similar to what you guys did and what I think a lot of your listeners do. You go out and you take a shot, or you see something that you're like, I need to go explore this. And I was lucky enough to, on a whim, Hail Mary, put in to present in England at a hazmat conference. Got selected, and actually Jeff, who's with you guys on the round table.
Yep.
Zintac. He actually was presenting there too. Went there, met with Mark, met with part of their team. But again, the atmosphere was just what brought me in. And the way that one of the directors spoke about it, that was not even in Joyf's, and they were a member of Joyf, but they were like, you have to meet these guys. This is going to change your life. And I'm here to tell you, it's changed my life to the part where I didn't think I'd ever go to Ireland. And now I've been to Ireland. We are in talks. Hold on. You have a Guinness straight from the tap. It's different. And then Beamish, I'm a fan of Beamish, even though he doesn't want to hear that. But we are in talks with people around the world now. And we're going to be headed to the Middle East, hopefully when things settle down, to deliver some training. We are going, we talk to all these people. And at the end of the day, I can't stress this enough, that what makes it different, what makes it more about what you guys are doing, and I think a lot of your viewership and your partners, is it's not your competition. It is the community, and realizing that you don't have to compete with the Joneses next to you. You don't have to just strive to keep up. You can share, you can grow, and you ebb and flow and take. You don't even take to each other, you give to each other. And that's what makes it different, where the family is the biggest atmosphere that I can tell you. It's that feeling. It's not the accreditation process, while it is intense, the cost that we were looking at was astronomical here in the States. And going back to what Mark said, they're not trying to abuse and take that from us. What they want is competent, safer operators, both in hazmat, industry, fire, aviation. To do that, to have an accreditation, so if God forbid something does happen, you are not slammed out in the cold. You have a piece of paper, it's justified, it's certified, it's accredited, but we're leading to a point where we don't have to check a box and make sure we can recall 17,000 pieces of information. We have a team around us that's competent enough to do that.
Nice and short. Thank you. Perfect. That's what I was looking for. Mark, what about you?
Yeah. Why become part of Joyf? Because we want you to become part of Joyf. We want people. The more voices we have, the more experiences we have, the more people we have, the more shared learning the world gets, the community gets. And that's important. It's a really big, important part of Joyf. Also, as a not-for-profit, membership fees is how we stay alive, and the stronger we get, the more members we get, the stronger Joyf get, and the more we can do. For example, down the road one day, we hope to develop a Joyf app, as an example. Can we afford to do it now? No, we're a not-for-profit. If we get another 100 members, maybe we can, which gives more of an enrichment, more of an experience to the membership. So yeah, just come and give it a go. Just see what you can find out, see if you enjoy it. But yeah, It is a family thing. I know what Supa's trying to say there. It's I mean, you're with your friends most of the time. It's just, I mean, it's all fun. There's learning, there's serious education, very, very serious incidents, and very, very serious conversations with some really experienced, great people. And you know, we know how to enjoy it as well. So it works. People enjoy doing it. So yeah.
If somebody wants to join, where do they contact? Who do they go see?
Go to joif.com, have a look at the site. There's a link there to apply for membership, or that's probably the easiest way. Or if they want, they can email. We have membership@joif.com. That also works. Or those who know me, reply to your emails and join.
We'll put.
You're going to edit that out, right?
Joiff,
You're probably not now that I've said
we'll
that.
put my Joiff email in there too. It's
Okay.
my last name, SUPPA @joiff.com. Try to keep it pretty simple.
Yeah.
And one more thing, you know, Mark was like, "Are you going to speak it all during this?" The best part about this is the shared learning. You know, we talk about those incidents, whether it's a line of duty, it doesn't always have to be, it could be a near miss. Those conversations happen and they prevent line of duty deaths because we're sharing that information globally now. So something that happened in England that I talked to one of our partners that was like, "Hey, be aware of this. This is something that was a near miss." Man, that's those layers that just, if we can tie us all together and avoid those silos, we're gonna have less line of duty deaths or less serious injuries, and that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, I like it, man. Well,
Very
I
cool.
appreciate you guys both
Yeah,
coming
thanks
on,
for coming on.
and it was great
Thank you
stuff.
for having us.
I'm sure we'll be hearing more from you. But until next time, thanks.
Gentlemen, always a
Cheers.
pleasure. Thank you.